Hello Godotians, in this video I want to explain how I placed the structures on the terrain surfaces. And there are various flats along the terrain, but we don't want to put a structure on every position where there is a flat. So we're going to specify how densely we want to place them with a structures.density constant. So looking in the structures, I've set the constant density to 0.3. So around a third of the flats will have some kind of structure, a building or a resource on it. So going back to the main script, when we start the game, we get an array of coordinates for each of the structure positions. And this is a function on the terrain called getPoints for structures. So the terrain script has this function here, getPoints for structures, with an input of the density. So we have the array of points, and then we're going to populate that with coordinates. And this one, last y, will remember the last vertical position of a flat, so we can detect if we've got adjacent flats, so we don't end up putting things next to each other. So let's loop through for I in the range to the number of flat positions that there are. We're going to go point equals the value of the point at this index into the flats array, and we're going to go check if the current position, vertical position, is the same as the last position. If it isn't, then we are okay to go ahead and place something at this point. So we use our density value, which is between 0 and 1, and compare that to a random value generated between 0 and 1. So if the random value is less than our density, less than or equal to 0.3 in this case, we append the point to the points array and make a note of its vertical position. So the next time round we're going to check if it's already been occupied. And continue skips setting the last y to none. So we go to the next value in the range until we've exhausted it and we've populated our array with points. Then we return to the main script and we loop through all of these values that we've got. We get an item from the structures script, and this function has inputs of the point and the terrain grid size. So looking in the structures and the get item function, it generates an item from this function here, which gets a random child from the selection of structures in the scene. So we have 4 items available. So we get a random one of those and duplicate it, and it returns to here as the item. Then we're going to set the position. Top left corner is above the flat part of the grid. We return to the main script, and then we can add it to a group called structures, so we can later check if all the structures have been gone or depleted in energy to define the end of the game. And then add it as a child to the terrain line. And that's how we set the structures up on the flats. As we can see, none of them are next to each other. There's always going to be at least one space between them.